Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to today's call. I welcome you all to Public Service Knowledge Hub. I'm your regular host, Jamiu Onosanya. Today's topic is public order, environmental responsibility, and civic compliance, the role of every public servant and citizen. Public order and environmental responsibility are often discussed as enforcement issue. However, in reality, they are first issue of attitude, knowledge, and personal discipline. This session is designed as a knowledge sharing and reorientation platform. It is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of rules we may already know, correct assumption we may have heard for years, and learn what we may not have known at all. In Lagos State, public servants are not just policy implementers. We are also daily road users, vehicle drivers, residents, and role models. Our conduct, whether in official vehicles or private ones, either reinforce public order or weaken it. This session therefore focus on shared responsibility, voluntary compliance, leadership by example, especially by public servants, understanding that compliance begins with us. The goal is to help our public servants avoid costly mistakes, reputational damage, and unnecessary conflict with enforcement agencies. By understanding this rule clearly and respecting them consistently, it is my honor to usher in our facilitator for today's session. We are privileged to welcome CP Adetayo Akerele, the chairman of the Lagos State Environmental and Special Offense Enforcement Unit Task Force. CSP Akerele is not only a senior police officer, but a practitioner of modern, transparent, and accountable enforcement. His professional journey reflects a rare blend of discipline, intelligence, humility, and innovation. Before his current role, he served as commander of enforcement of the Lagos State BRT corridor, where he demonstrated exceptional capacity in managing compliance, restoring order, and protecting critical public infrastructure. His performance and integrity earned him a greater responsibility at the state level. Beyond traffic and environmental enforcement, he oversees responses to public disturbance, illegal activities, and environmental abuses. We're deeply grateful that despite a demanding schedule, he has chosen to create time to sensitize us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great respect that I invite CSP Adetayo Akerele to kindly take us through today's session. Good evening, sir, once again, sir.
Good evening, my brother.
Yes, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to let me quickly appreciate you for quickly correcting yourself, because I don't want to get into trouble when you initially introduced me as a commissioner of police instead of the CSP. Let me thank you for that.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is CSP Adetayo Akerele, Chairman, Lagos State Environmental Sanitation and Special Offenses, located at Lagos State Safety Arena, Bolade Oshodi. Before I get to the topic, let me first and foremost appreciate the initiative behind this seminar. I will say it is it couldn't have come at another better time than now. The topic is quite relevant and timely. Also, it is important to appreciate the current administration for deeming me fit for the task of bringing sanity to Lagos as a chairman task force, and also for the continuous support and all the enablement for doing the job. Without much ado, let me get to the topic proper. The topic before me today is public order, environmental responsibility, and civic compliance, the role of every public servant and that of the citizen. Let me do a rundown of the topic. From the topic, we have public order, we have environmental responsibility, we have civic compliance, we have role of public servant, and role of citizen. Public order means peace, stability, and safety within the society. Environmental responsibility, which is which is expected of you and I, is ensuring safety within the society. How do we achieve this? By monitoring the society, detection of crime, sensitization, interagency collaboration. Let me go to the next one, which is a role of public servants. Public servants, we are expected to support government policies, programs, and plan. Role of citizen. As citizen, we are expected to obey all laws of the land. Now, public order, environmental responsibility, civic compliance, role of public servants, role of citizen. I want to mark them into two parts. In the sense that when you say public order, I put it on one side. Environmental responsibility, civic compliance, role of public servants, role of citizen. I put them on the other side, on the other hand. Why have I done this? You agree with me that when you check what you achieve, when every citizen adheres strictly to this order two, when you check what you achieve is public order. Even though we have some citizens who have taken, for whatever reason, to circumvent some of the government policies, but we still have some other ones who obey the laws of the land. It is the responsibility of every responsible government to ensure stability, safety, and peace within the society. And I must tell you also that we all, as citizens, owe a duty to protect and preserve the law. Like this, we can ensure the stability of the society. As is a kind of social contract theory. If you are saying you as a citizen, you have a right. As you have a right, you also owe a duty to perform some responsibility. Now, when people are environmentally responsible, you are civic minded, you uphold the rule of law, and generally in compliance as a public official, what we get is public order. How do we arrive at the enforcers, which we as a task force will belong? I mentioned the other time that public order is stability, peace, and safety. In addition to this, there is what we call enforcement. The law we have on the books will not enforce itself. It has to be enforced. And that is why you see the enforcement coming side by side with safety, stability, and what's it called? To make up the public order. My experience when I was the task force on BRT corridor commander. For those of our colleagues who are civil servants that lives along Ikorodu axis, I've come in, I've had encounter with them. Before I would, tell you is that they are civil servants. They work with the state. And the next thing is they pull out their ID card, as if that ID card is a license for anyone working with, as a civil servant to use the corridor. The civic compliance that form part of the topic of today is one thing that I will appreciate if every one of us can adhere to. Civic compliance is just when you voluntarily, willingly adhere, obey the rules of the land without allowing or making anyone to come and force you to do it. So if everyone can obey the rules of the land without making anyone to force you to do it, I think the enforcement part of the public order might not be necessary. But I think we have formed this attitude, habit of when we are occupying a particular position, we try to get carried away and allow the powers that are attached to the office to enter our heads. and we behave in a way that is contrary to the civil service rule, because I believe we all have the rules that is guiding our behaviors. Many a times we've had issue with some of us who have one way or the other, I mean, violated the traffic. Mostly it is traffic law. We want to cut corners, do a fast one, when we are supposed to be an ambassador of these laws. We are supposed to campaign against, I mean, people coming to violate the laws of the land. We have the environmental law, we have the road traffic law. If all these can be, I mean, adhered strictly to, we all have a serene, I mean, society, a safe environment for everyone to live. But I've observed that the reverse is the case. And the other time when I had a meeting with the PS Lashma, I remember we discussed about Mr. Governor's executive order, where all, I mean, Lagosians are expected to enroll in the health insurance scheme. Of course, I am one of the ambassadors, and I gave them my own assurance that on my own part, as someone who is occupying an office in the state and who is ready to, I mean, allow us all the policies and, I mean, plans of the state to be achieved, I assure them that we are enforcers. Violators, we take them, they appear before the court, and with the process of getting back their vehicles, if their vehicle has been seized, after going to court, they come back with evidence of whatever fine and might have been given. So what we do ever since we have I mean, inaugurated this program is that we ask them, where is evidence of your enrollment as I mean, as a partaker of this scheme? If they cannot produce it, we have representatives from Lashma at our point. We make them to go online. We have the link. So I think this one is an example of what we are talking about here. When, as public servants, you allow the policies, plans, and programs of the state to be achieved. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say here is that let us be a good ambassador of, I mean, our dear state by making sure that the policies, plans, and programs of the states are achieved. I also want to say that the task force we have done a lot of I mean, sensitization, and we did, the last one we did was in October last year. We went around the states to sensitize people about why they should not violate some of these laws, particularly environmental laws and road traffic laws. We went around sensitizing people, which is part of what is expected of every public servant in the state. And with this, I would like to enjoin everybody who is part of, who belongs to this group to go, to do what we call sensitization, so that some people will not tell us that they are not aware of a particular crime, a particular violation, that this thing is a violation on the law of the state or not. So also, we should set positive examples first as ambassadors and also as enforcers of the environmental laws of the state. Is what I've just said, that we as public servants should learn to set, first as ambassador and also serve as enforcer of environmental laws of the state. As civil servants, we must live what we preach. Charities, they say, begins at home. If you are telling somebody that he should not do this, but you are not practicing what you are preaching, it is not good enough. And by the time we start acting accordingly, I want to assure you that there will be a great change. We'll start seeing people say, not, is it not the PS that was using the BRT? Is it not the PS that drove against traffic, which is popularly known as one way? So let us rally around the administration to achieve its set goal of ensuring safety and comfort for all Lagosians. Let me also, at this point, remind us of the core values of Lagos State Task Force. At the task force, all of you will agree with me that um, the task force has taken a new shape. When you meet our officers, you agree with me that they are one of the best police officers in the state. We are doing enough to ensure that we build their capacity, so that as much as possible, you will not, the members of the public will not have reason to tell us that to condemn the activities of the task force. So we are doing so much to make sure that we build the capacity, the behavior of our personnel, and high ethical value and moral standard, civic relationship to the public. We are, we always try to be civil, even when we know that enforcement is not public friendly, but we try as much as possible as well to make sure that despite the fact that it's not friendly, we try to make them friends before we go on any form of enforcement. We will have done what we call sensitization, warning, and all of that. So that when we come, you will not say, these are wicked people, they don't like us, like people will say. There is no how you do that people will not complain, they will not make you enemies. And you agree with me that is when you are trying to do when you are trying to, no matter how you try to be good to people, in as much as you are in the enforcement unit, they will always make you as enemies and they will talk bad about you. But we will not, because of what people will say, and decide to do what, leave what we've been asked to do. Um, Distinguished audience, obviously the job requires precision from the task force team. We are always we don't get confused at any point, no matter how they bring confusion to us. We don't get confused because this job is requires a lot of calculation. When you miss your calculation, I want to tell you that it is very difficult for you to get it right. Like I said, enforcement unit is not public friendly. When you go out, you discover that people that are supposed to be in position to advise people, they are the ones that will mobilize people against you. That's why most times when we go out, if we having assessed the assignment before us, and probably we know that we are going to need like 10 personnel, we increase it to like 10. So that when we meet people like those ones we are talking about who are supposed to be in position to tell people that when you see task force doing work, don't attack them. If you have any complaint, go to their office, go and meet them. These are the people that will say, oh, I work in a social place. I belong to the government, and therefore you go and attack them. Mobilize yourself. Go and attack them. For instance, when I was in BLT enforcement, we intercepted this person, Rufai, on corridor. When we stopped him, he was making all form of comments, you know, and saying he's going to call he's going to call people on that we will not come out of it and all of that. We brought him to this scene, and eventually he was begging. So these are the kind of things that we are talking about. These are the kind of things we encounter when we are working, and it will be good when we have, because I cannot say, maybe, in an environment, it is not possible for us not to have one or two public servants living in that area. When you see task force in that community where you live, you educate them. This is task force. Their work is like this. When you have any complaint, if you feel what they are doing is not right, if you feel what they have done to you is not right, this is the procedure. Don't attack them, do this, and that will be fine. Let me also, at this point, remind us of the core values of the task force. Uh,
Sir, your network is freezing.
I think I've talked about, okay. Uh, so I want to appeal to every one of us that no matter whichever position we are occupying, we should not allow ourselves to to be carried away about it. The enforcement is for every one of us, and when it goes bad, it affects all of us. Also, I want to appeal to other Lagosians. I mean, for understanding as task force. And how do we do this? It is through the same public servants. It is through the same public servant, whether directly or indirectly. Directly is when we have them close to us, we educate them. Indirectly, we can organize seminars, programs, and all that we inform, educate the general public about they are expected, what the state expects from every citizen, obeying the laws, which is their primary responsibility. That is what the state expects from everyone as a citizen. You respect the law of the state so that we can have, a safe environment for every one of us. So having carried out sensitization and warning, next thing is enforcement. That is task force for you. Once we have done our sensitization, warnings, and all that, the next thing is enforcement. And there's no going back on this because it's an assignment that is already set. So we are not going back on it. And the Lagos State Task Force will enforce all the laws as far as it is written in the law book. So to this end, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, sir, for this beautiful presentation. Audience, can I see your emojis to appreciate our guest speaker? Let your emojis keep on coming. We are more than two now. I'm only see two emojis coming up. All right. Thank you so much. I learned another thing today. Please, if you have any question, just signify and let your question go in line with the topic. Question, don't be scared. Oga is ready to answer us. And this avenue is part of our jingle to sensitize ourselves. We have started it and we are going to spread it across. All right. Let me start from Eniton. Eniton, your name and your ministry. Unmute yourself, Eniton.
Good afternoon. Good evening, CPS Adetayo.
Good evening, ma.
Yes, sir.
CSP,
my name is Enid. Oh, sorry, CSP Adetayo. Good evening, sir.
All right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, sir. I really want to appreciate you for that insightful topic, and I'm so glad to hear the part of enforcement coming from from your angle as a police officer. So my questions are in three places, sir. Number one, I used to observe that most police officers, they do not usually attend to environmental enforcement in the public. I want to know why. You see, probably because they are not part of the enforcement team. So most of them don't react when they see people dumping waste indiscriminately. So they just overlook it. And even when the public is trying to correct them, you see police officers just going without attending to the case. That's one. Second, what is task force doing in respect to the people crossing the expressway where we have pedestrian bridge? For example, Ojota, you'll be going on Ojota in the morning, you see thousands of people crossing the expressway, causing go slow on that road. Sometimes I will stop and speak to the what's it called? the last mile or one of the car that's around. They will come in a week or to do enforcement. After that week, they will forget about it. In the evening is always very bad. And we have 2 pedestrian bridges that government has created in that place, including Ojodubega. Third, the police officer, they create most time checkpoints at a very dangerous or vulnerable areas in terms of checking for people's particular or driver license whatsoever. They create all these checkpoints at corners. They create it at the linkway to expressway. For example, in the morning you will see go slow coming from Ojodubega, Fagbems down to Alausa in the morning. By the time you get to Alausa to route to where you get, by the time you get to Mobile route Alausa, you will see road safety and police officer checking particulars at that junction, creating problem for millions of people on the expressway. What is task for doing about it? Those are my 3 questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Eniton.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, my sister. The first question that people dump refuse at places and task force are not, or police are not there to checkmate their wrongdoings. Well, like you know that Lagos is a very big place. We cannot be everywhere. The areas that we cover at a particular time, of course, it is not possible for somebody to see task force and decide. That is one thing that I am very sure of. So we need people to assist us to police when you see such acts taking place. That's why I have my feedback initiative, which is see something, say something. I have my numbers. I've wrote my number out for people to call in when they see things like this. And one thing that I've taken very important is my swiftness to respond. To respond to calls. That is one thing I have taken so important that once I get call from anybody, I make sure I dispatch a team immediately to respond to that call. So we cannot be everywhere, my sister. The areas we cover, I am very sure, no, is it that person is eating lion meat in his pot or a pot, that you will see tax force in the place and you still decide to do an act that you know is wrong. It is not possible. So I still want to say here that anytime anyone see any act that is against the law of the land, please do us that favor to quickly call. And if you see any police, maybe I can't say there could be police around, but they might not be task force. They might feel that it does not fall under their purview to arrest somebody who is this thing, but it is lack of understanding. Let me not say training. Because if they actually understand their responsibilities as a police officer, when you see any crime being committed at any place, even when it does not fall under your purview, you arrest at that time and you hand over to the appropriate quarters that will give it the proper justice. So, but then, if the police, probably you've seen police around and you saw that taking place, probably the police you saw, there are those that feels maybe it is not part of their responsibility. So just still do us that favor to call in and tell us this is what is happening at a particular place, and you will see us immediately. The second one, where you say checkpoints at everywhere. Myself, sometimes when I drive, because I do what we call surveillance, I will drive in a plain clothes, in a private vehicle. I drive around. When I get to, maybe while driving, I discover traffic, and I try to find out what is the cause of this traffic. By the time I get to the point and I discover that it's checkpoint, and I know at that point we will not tell the police to not to do stop and search. fine. But there are situations, there are conditions, there are times that you see that working at this particular time, especially at the peak hour when you know that people are, you do what we call search. I mean, what you call you don't do the general checkpoint. Checkpoint. You look out for those that you reasonably suspect. You look out for those that you reasonably suspect to, have probably have something in their cupboard. You don't just stop and say you want to check every vehicle that you see, because we will not also tell them that they should not do stop and search because of peak hour. But they should be able to use their discretion that, okay, at this point, it is the peak hour, so let's traffic flow. So sometimes when I come in contact with this kind of people, I tell them to leave. And there are other ones too, because as police officer, I know our people very well. They are everywhere. Out of every this thing, there must be a Judas. So those Judas, when we see them, when we come in contact with them, we know them very well. I have arrested so many police officers in the course of driving within the city for doing one thing or the other. And most times when I have reports of this kind of nature, I do put a call to the provost office at the headquarters, and for them to, they have always been responding to such calls. So have I responded to?
Yes, perfectly, sir. Thank you so much for that response, sir. We call on Dosumu Ibukun. Please, once again, let your question be relevant with the topic. Please don't deviate from the topic. Thank you. Dosumu Ibukun, unmute yourself. Dosumu Ibukun, unmute yourself from your head. Okay. Ganiu Tekobo, unmute yourself. Ganiu Tekobo, am I audible? Ganiu Tekobo, please. Dosumu Ibukun.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
The GM Task Force. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Let me start very well. Happy New Year to you. Let me start with what you have said, officers that are. Well, I have to point this out. We are civil servants. You have told us we are ambassadors. Some of us are even special marshals with last man. We enforce the law. We do the little bit we can do. But I have to point this to you, that your officers, even policemen on the road, they violate traffic laws too. And I don't see your officers arresting them. That's one. And the ones they arrest, they will tell them, well, if I'm there, I'll say, why don't you arrest this man driving on the BRT? They say he's an officer. Is he on duty? Is he supposed to ply on the, if they say he's on the essential duty? Who assigned him to be on the essential duty? Then if you apply the Oshodi to Yanokwaja or to Abule Egba side, the task force will be parked on the road near that, what's it called? That market around that Agbalatura church. I don't know, I've forgotten the area now. This Takwangwa, what they call it, I don't forget the area now. The ghost will be there. Commercial transport will pass him. Your task force officers will turn a blind eye. They will pass the BRT lane. Speed across, they will turn a blind light to it. And when I see them sometimes, why do you allow this person to go? Commercial transport. Say, okay, whoa, if you want Leo, there's from Oba, from this one. I say, hey, those ones can violate the law. Commercial transport. And lastly, sir, I have not seen you put your men that are recalcitrant or that are culprits on this kind of offense to the public affairs. The police in the national, when they arrest officers that are culpable, they display them. They tell us, oh, this person is caught doing the wrong thing. And like you said you added them to the provost. Let's see them prosecuted. Let us see them, publicize them. This officer among the task force man has been queried and culpable for doing this thing. Then the public and the civil servant too will be glad about it. So those are the three things I want you to address. One, officers that are not task force men ply one way, ply BRT lane, and when your officers see them, they'll say they are esprit de corps. They are our men. They are together. We are together. Secondly, the commercial vehicles, they do it with impunity, and your men turn a blind eye. I don't know why they turn a blind eye. I don't want to say anything is going on, but they turn a blind eye on them. Thirdly, I have not seen you, your office, prosecute your members that are caught doing wrong thing. Let us see them. Let them, the officers in the national, they do that very often. They tell us, the professor in the dailies, in the papers, in television, these men wrong foul the law too. Let us see them being punished. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir, Mr. Dosu.
Mr. Dosumu, thank you for that question. The first one, which is officers blind one way and commercial vehicles using driving against traffic. One, let me still educate you on this. Like I said, it is the responsibility of every officer to arrest every bad situation. However, we have a task force in charge of BRT corridor. That's the task force at K2, and they have their commander there. Like I said also, there is no time I or my men, with my instruction, are going on their own assignment. They see anybody plying the corridor and they will not arrest. But then there is a task force at K2 in charge of BRT corridor enforcement. I was there before. I was a pioneer, commander of that place before I assume office as the chairman of task force. I was there. So they have another commander, so who oversees everything that happens on the corridor. Number two, you said people use drive against traffic and they take their face off the commercial vehicles. And also when other police officers drive against traffic, they do they tell them we are one and all that. I will not tell you it is not possible. But me, in my own, what I do to every other person too, when I see police officers driving against traffic, it is not possible for me not to arrest as the chairman task force. What explanation do I have for that? What explanation? When you come to my office, you come on Monday, you see the number of police officers, military, that are, loitering around my office for motorcycles. Because there is ban on the use of motorcycle in some area. So once you say you are a police officer and you drive against, you violate these laws, who will get you? And there is no amount of plea that will make us, because it will look like as if we are not capable. When we say, okay, these are police officers. So because you are a police officer, you will now take your bike. Like all of us know, some of our people, they are the ones that are doing Okada. The military, some military officers, they even use this thing. It's a general knowledge. Some military, they'll be on their full regalia and be doing Okada. Police officers, they do it. Civil defense, they do it. And we are always after them. I have seen a military officer that I confiscated his motorcycle, and the following week he bought another one and they still got him. He came and he was lying down there. It was last week they collected one of my motorcycle and I bought another one. So if you are sensible enough, your motorcycle was confiscated and you, after buying another one, you still went and used it to commit the same offense. That means you are a recalcitrant person. So for that reason, I will not even listen to you. So I don't know from where you have gotten your this, but me, you can find out about me when it comes to things like this. I am not wicked, but we just have to do the job. We just have to do the job. And like you said, that you have not seen any publication. That means probably you have not been reading. You are not regular with news. I personally led an operation to raid people who are selling drugs. My personnel, after doing the good job that we are going to do, some of my personnel went and took somebody's phone. Not even violation this time. I personally got the person and I prosecuted that person. Of course, it's not a police officer. It's one of our paramilitary that are working with us. I got him and I prosecuted him. So I am not that kind of officer that will say because somebody is this, then I will now shield him when he has done something very bad, especially something of that magnitude. So I am not that kind of officer. So when you have anything, you see anything like this, please do not hesitate to report to us. That is why we are there. That is why we are there. We cannot be everywhere. We have our officers, when they are not performing up to expectation, please let us know. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because of time, so I will allow only 3 people to ask questions because any moment from now, anytime Oga can be called for any duty. Gani Wainde, are you ready now? Unmute yourself.
Okay, sir, I'm ready, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Your name.
Good evening, good evening, everybody. My name is Ainde Gani Utekobo. I will first appreciate the chairman task force for the insightful lectures given this evening. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, my brother. You're welcome.
My question is of 3 areas, sir. 1, I want you to put us in a right perceptions, the roles of your men, which is the task force on environmental something, and the other task force, like the one in K2, and the task force, the one with LASMA, their roles on BRT corridor. I want you to put us in a right perceptions for those 3 key officers, their roles in BRT corridors. That is one. Secondly, is there anything that your team or your office put in place for the public if there is any complaints that might arise from the performance of your officers in dealing with the public? Is there any complaints activity put in place? Thirdly, is that I want to know if that is the best way for your men to apprehend a culprit that violates PRT way. Like a situation where a public violates traffic BRT lane, and you just see some task force people. The first thing they will need to do, they will put on a like something like iron rod like that. They will just put it on the road, and the next thing is for them, they will remove the plate number of that vehicle. And I was thinking that shouldn't be the appropriate way for an officer of that caliber to be dealing with public, rather than putting a human-based approach to apprehend the public, because I believe that why the government was putting the task force in places is to maintain peace and order and to maintain order. And it should be in line with the team agenda of the present administration. And the team agenda is basically focused on making the public feel the sense of belonging into the administration. So those are the three key questions that I want to. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gani. Stay behind.
Let me start with you said the role of task force. That is Lagos State Task Force on Environmental Sanitation and Special Offences, the one at Lagos Safety Arena, Oshodi. And also the task force, BRT task force at K2 and LASMA. It is very clear. Our responsibility is to enforce, that is the task force at Oshodi, environmental laws of the states, road traffic law of the states, which of course, when you talk about road traffic law, BRT is inclusive. K2, BRT, you know, they have terminals, they provide protection for the terminals. They also enforce the corridor. LASMA, we all know their roles and responsibilities is that of traffic too. So the only thing I will tell you, I don't know where your question is coming from, but the only simple thing I will tell you is that all of us, we have the responsibility of enforcing the BRT corridor. Even the police, the regular police, the divisional police, can arrest you for using the BRT, not just these 3 units that you have just mentioned. The only thing is that as they arrest you, they bring you to us for prosecution. So that is that for that. I don't know whether I've been able to answer that question. Removal of plate number. Like I told you, Lagos, there is no gentleman to me. I've been in enforcement for some time. Even when you see someone with tie, by the time that person will change, you'll be surprised. When you see somebody that is supposed to be a gentleman, when that person will behave in a way, you will know that this person. So before a situation will resort to removing plate number, because we face a lot of trouble when it comes to enforcement. Somebody who knows he has violated the law, and as police officers, you are under arrest for so offense. Yes, you are expected to submit yourself. But that is when you start as a public servant, you say you are so person, you are so person, and by the time you pull out your ID card, and the person still refuses to listen to you because it's discretionary at this point. It's discretionary. When you introduce yourself to a police officer and he ceases to understand with you, the offense has been committed. It's for you to obey him. It's not for you to say, because you have introduced yourself to a police officer that you are so person, he must listen to you. It is not a must, it is discretionary. If you are able to, make your way out of it, that's fine. It's your luck. But if a police officer decides to, take it up with you, the next thing I expect is for a responsible and for somebody who respects the law to obey that police officer. But the reverse is always the case. You see people claiming what they are and what they are not. So like this, you see, and maybe instead of turning it to a scene that will form a social media thing, they might just decide to use their discretion to remove the plate number at least. I've seen a situation whereby I told, a violator together with his vehicle. He was in his vehicle and mobilizing people. He refused to wind down his glass. He has refused to talk to anybody, and he was on one way. He was right in his vehicle there, mobilizing people. So the next thing, as a smart person, you have a tow vehicle. I said they should tow him together with his vehicle. So it is a situational approach. When something happens, you think right there and find a way out of it. I believe somebody who has violated, and you say, oh, Oga, you have violated this particular provision of law. Also, this is what we expect you to do, and you respect what the person is telling you. It will not result to somebody removing your plate number, because it is never part of it. Nobody is going to arrest anybody. The only thing is that your vehicle will be taken, will be parked until you are able to face the court, and whatever the court asks you to do, you do it, and you take back your vehicle. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Pastor Jesu Yemi, please, quick one. Like I said, let your question be in line with the topic, please. Pastor Jesu Yemi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Quick one, sir.
Good evening, sir, and thank you, the task force chairman, sir. Please,
thank you, sir.
I'm from Badai West Local Council Development Area Secretariat. And I live in Semoda in Badai. My question is that, do we have this task force in Semoda? That's my question. Then my second question is that one thing I discovered is that there is a police traffic point in that Sebe border near J5 market. The police are trafficking there. But the issue I'm having is that there is one way, Okada, we come through one way. There was a situation some time ago that even my wife was knocked down with Okada, to the extent that the fee and the toll, two of it was removed. Now, my question is that, is it possible to go to police station in Seme to go and report those police that are there, that they are not monitoring those Okada people that are following one way? On several times, I even wait when I'm on my own personal bike. I will wait there. I will be saying that, if police, you are seeing them in your front, they will be passing one way. So that's my question. Do you have the task force in Seme border? That's the question. And is it possible for me to the police station that is close to us in Seme border to go and make a report there that those people that are talking at that point, they are not really doing the work, sir? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Pastor. Stay behind.
Pastor, you're welcome. You see, the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, Mr. Moshood Jimo, has directed that all divisions within the state to enforce this prohibition on use of motorcycle on some of our roads. Like that we might not be able to be at every point at all time. But the way we do our Okada enforcement is we plan it, we schedule it. If we are going to work at a particular point for the week, we will have scheduled our operation for the week. So while we are still working on other areas, we expect other divisions, area commands, to enforce these prohibition on the use of motorcycle on some of our roads. And whenever they call us that they have any issue, because Okada enforcement, it always comes with trouble. Someone that knows that is going to, once he parts with that Okada, he's not going to see it anymore. You want to prevent and protect that Okada with the last drop of his blood. So that's why sometimes the divisions, they see themselves as not, I don't know, not, whether, I don't want to use the word capable or so, enough. So they will call us when they have this thing, then we schedule, then we move there. So, but going by the instruction or the directive of the Commissioner of Police, we expect all divisions and area command to enforce this prohibition on Okada enforcement. So, like I said, if you're having a particular issue, nowhere is too far for task force. We cover the whole of the state. Just get to us. Let us know about whatever problem that is happening or that anyone is having anywhere, then you will see us.
Yes, so just call my name, I'll be there. So call
Exactly.
them, they'll be there. All right. Mrs. Okoli Olufunke, unmute yourself. Quick one. Mrs. Okoli, are you there with us? Hey. All right. Abosede Koka, unmute yourself.
Good evening,
Mrs.
sir.
Okoli,
Hello, sir.
okay, hold on, Abosede. Abosede, hold on. Mrs. Okoli, are you ready?
Yes, please.
Okay, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir, and well done for the good job you are doing. Well, mine might not really be a question. It's just that I would also say, based on experience of vehicles that are violated one way or whatever environmental offense they have done, and their vehicles are impounded, and they are given a fine to pay. And after payment, they still go through the rigor of having to pay this, pay that before their vehicles are released to them. I may not have a, a pictorial evidence, but this is what's really happened to my brother-in-law when he was involved with this. Because I actually told him, he confessed that the driver committed the offense, and they had to go through the rigor of paying and all that, almost showed you back to allowance and all that. But for them to also call and get their vehicles back, they were still made to pay unreceipted amounts to I don't know whoever. Sometimes we have these people touts that will come around and say they are representatives of whoever. We all know as the whole thing goes. But please, sir, this is an appeal. Even when people are made to pay for offenses committed, let their vehicles be released to them. It is not that they make them. Sometimes, even there was this particular one I'm telling you about. After the whole thing, they've gone and all that. They said they have also used that same vehicle to go and raid, that he should come back the following day. And that was when he went back, only for him to go back. And he still has to be made to pay some other, money. I just want you to look into that. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Okoli. Sir, how do you get the question, sir? Because in between
I did not.
you are off.
At the point,
All right.
I was disconnected at the point, so I didn't really get
Yes,
the
sir.
question.
I observed that. Mrs. Okoli, can you please recap what you said, ma?
Sorry about that. I was saying that
Maybe.
there are areas you
All
should
right.
also pay attention to, sir, that you are doing a great work. So I was sharing an experience that my brother-in-law went through. The driver, well, according to him, he was actually said he parked the vehicle and whatever. This was a reported speech, because I told him that if he didn't commit the offense, they won't take him in. But where I had an issue was that eventually he was made to pay. He paid for him to collect his vehicle. When they went back, whether it was Alausa or at Oshodi, whichever way, they couldn't find this vehicle, sir. And only to find out later that the same vehicle had been used to go and raid some wherever, because the whole thing was collected from him. Initially, they said they couldn't find it. Later, when they found it, they asked him to come back the following day. Now, when he now went back to even collect the vehicle, he was still made to pay some unreceipted amount. And then this one, before you leave it, before you move out. We know that some of these things actually, they happen. We cannot shy away from that. I'm just saying that it will be a great help, especially to us as civil servants, that even when we have such cases, the authorities should look into that and bring people who commit this to book. Most of the time, it's not the officers. They just put baits, these touts that, will probably be collecting the money and making life difficult more for these people. And I think that's just not fair after the fine has been paid. So that's just my own contribution, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for that contribution and observation. You are not even fair enough to me because, like I said, I cannot be everywhere. And we have this kind of people everywhere. This is the way it works. Whenever they impound any vehicle, the only place where the park vehicle, seized vehicle is Alausa at the yard there. That's the only designated place. I say, okay, when you park vehicle, if anyone should come and park vehicle within the compound in Oshodi, I will sanction that person. Because I don't want them to come and start littering the compound with yellow buses. So when there is any complaint from anywhere that probably unprofessionalism as to mode of arrest or form of arrest, as the case may be, or whether they complain that somebody, a kind of this thing, the only way I can know, okay, which team is responsible is once I call the custodian at Alausa, check your record, because every vehicle that enters that compound, they register it. The team that is responsible for that, for the vehicle that is confiscated, the name will be there and all that. So I don't have to even start looking for the team. So once I call the officer at the Alausa there, he will give me all the information I need about any vehicle. So, like you from your narrative now, the vehicle was not even taken to Alausa. So that is to tell you, I told you we have this, but I would not say no. I can't vouch for some of these boys. There are cases that, because if I want to go for Okada enforcement, there is a way I go. I don't go like a team like this. Sometimes some of them will just put themselves together like 3, 4. They will go and be doing illegal duty. And once I get them, I don't spare them. That is me. They all know me. So I cannot say what you have said is true. I can't say it is false. Also, there are civilians out there. Posters, they go around, they claim to be task force when they are not. I've actually been working on them. I've always been arresting them. For those that have been reading papers, they will have seen some of these, my achievements in papers. So if there is anybody, why I said you have not been fair to me is if something like this has happened as a public servant, even when you don't know me, you don't have my number, I believe there are people you can call to say, oh, who is that person in task force? We have this situation. Can we have his number? Or you call my call center. I set up a call center at the task force office there where people can call in, and once complaint is received, they attend to it immediately, 24 hours. Morning, afternoon, night. I have personnel on duty there that receive calls. If you feel you don't want to call my direct line. So all those things are in place. When I came on board was when I organized like 3 teams of surveillance. Their own is because I believe those are in enforcement. Sometimes they don't look out for other things. They face their enforcement. And we have a lot of ills that are going on in the society that we need to look into. So I set up this surveillance team. Their own duty is to get off the office in the morning. They drive around, they observe only. They don't enforce, they just observe and note. When they come back, they give the report of what they have observed, and we sit down on the round table to discuss this and plan for enforcement. So if I have people who can be calling me, because these people that goes out, they use fuel, wear and tears of the vehicle is there too. So if I have people who are in locations that can be calling me for things that I'm spending money to go and look for, won't I appreciate it? The answer is yes, I will appreciate it. So please, I want you to please, anytime you have a similar issue, I have my call center number. I have my own phone number. You can call me anytime, any hour of the day. I'm available. Thank
All
you.
right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I will only take 2 more questions because of time. Tomorrow is Monday, and Oga need to rest also. So only 2 out of these 3. About the said Ekoka, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Please, quick one. Thanks. Your name and a quick one.
I'm Moshe Abosede Olushola, sir. Thank you very much for the deserved award you received. You're well appreciated, sir, for
Thank
this
you.
program that you brought up. It has really helped a lot of us. And thank you, sir, for this presentation too, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
My question is that I just heard tonight that we have officers at the BLC stand. I never knew that. I go through Ikorodu route every week, and most of the time when I'm coming back from office or around that Ikorodu, in between the road, you see this awful smell around that side. People urinate there, broad daylight, you see them there, they just stand and start messing up the whole place, they litter the whole place. And when you now said you have those people, last week I was discussing with somebody that was pointing out how the whole place was dirty and the smell too. And I said, oh, thank God somebody else also noticed this. And I said, I don't know if the environmental health officers in the local government are really working, because I don't know if it's the officer that are in charge of getting those people arrested, because I think something has to be done to that place. That Ikorodu road, in between the road when you want to cross, when we get down from the BRT, the smells that welcome, that smell is very, very awful, sir. Even at that Costain BRT stand too, we can hardly breathe when we are there too. But the BRT, very, very awful smell comes out from that place too. And another challenge I also noticed around the corridor area is, I don't know how you can be of help to the hoodlums there. At times my heart bleeds for those boys, the hoodlums there. They stand, you see them watch, they're looking for phones to snatch, things to do, and at times we can't even pick calls when our phone rings along that road, because there was a day I was working and though
Man,
about 3
please
boys.
make it snappy, man. We are running out of time, please.
I don't know if you can help us. 3 boys brought daylight took phone from
All
somebody
right.
is
Noted.
from the boy's hand. So I
Noted.
don't know how
Thank
to
you.
help with that, sir. The safety of citizens, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Abosede Olushola. You mentioned about is it that people are dumping refuse, or how I don't know if it is refuse. I think we have this enforcement that is going on with Loma concerning those that are dumping refuse in on the road at night. So we have the enforcement that is ongoing with Loma, where we have strategies that have been put in place. We've been arresting some of these people at night. They will go, and so we go after them. So that one is also ongoing. If there is any particular location or area that we have not touched. So like I have mentioned, the Kurudu part and the Costain area, I have noted that. So that will be put in our schedule. So that is that. For the hoodlums that are everywhere, like I told you, Lagos is big, and everybody wants to come and tap from the honey in Lagos State, whether genuinely or by the other way around. If you have been surfing through your social media, you will have seen a lot of my activities. As to these, set of human being, Omotaku, the rest of them like that. I've been arresting them. I've arrested more than 60 this last week. More than 60, well over 60. They are everywhere. And like the testimony I got from a radio station, people calling to appreciate me, and they said they tell a story of somebody whose vehicle broke down along Anthony, that in their edge, they never thought that nobody will have come to ask them, Oga, because their style is when they come around you, they are, Oga, she need the mechanic in it, she need the wire in it. That's where they will start. Before you know it, they have turned hostile. So he said throughout the period they stayed to fix their vehicle, no single person. So the person calling, I think Mr. Pilot, he was appreciating our effort and all that. So we are doing enough. So like I said, you help us to police Lagos, because we cannot be everywhere all the time. It's a no fact. We cannot be everywhere. So when you see anything going on that is unusual, please call us immediately. Call us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. If you see something, please
Say
something.
something.
Okay. The last man standing before I go to the chat box, Builder Kazim Isiaka, quick one. Please, once again, let your question go in line with the topics, please. Builder Kazim, are you still with us?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
You have the floor, sir.
Hello.
Good evening. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah, I want to also appreciate the chairman on his job and the way we are getting to hear positive response from the populace. My own question is, or my own observation is, if you are coming from Ikorodu at Majidun Bridge, at Majidun Bridge, just immediately after Majidun Bridge, you have BRT corridor. But on the bridge, there is no really specified line stating that that spot is BRT corridor and the regular lane. But most of the time, when vehicles are coming and they are just trying to maneuver on the bridge and continue their journey on that same bridge to continue for the regular lane, you will just see one guy will just move close, take a shot. The next thing is task force will just stand in front of you, even though if you are on the regular lane, to say you have passed the BRT corridor. So many times it do happen. My wife has fallen victim one time like that, but I was just like, this space is not BRT corridor. So why are they arresting commuters on that spot? If they are inside the corridor itself, fine. Nobody will ever argue that you are not in the corridor. But that spot is not BRT corridor, but they do harass and arrest commuters. That's my question, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Stay behind.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that question. I want to be mindful of the words you use. You said maneuver. When you maneuver, and even when you have come out of the area where you committed an offense, that does not mean there is no offense. Like you said, as at the time you were maneuvering, they have taken a shot of you. So I don't think it will be out of place for anyone to take it up against you if you have said you have maneuvered an area where you're not supposed to pass and you have come out of the place. Maybe I didn't get the question right, but with what I have here, I don't think there is anything out of place here.
Sorry, sir. Let me state it clearly, sir. What I'm saying is, on that bridge, there is no BRT corridor, there is no BRT line on that bridge. It's after the bridge that there is corridor. If you are coming from Ikorodu, immediately you leave the Majidu bus stop, climbing that small bridge where you have the river itself, and you continue your lane for regular buses, and the other corridor is for BRT. So that spot is not, but you always see the officers there to arrest. That's what I just want us to correct. Inside the corridor, if you pass it, you must be arrested because you have committed an offense. But that spot is not BRT corridor. It's on the bridge.
Well, you know why I'm answering for this? Like I
Yes,
said
sir.
in the beginning of our discussion that I was there as the commander, so I know almost all the corridor on that route. And I don't want to believe that a place that is not marked as corridor, they will enforce on it. Like when you are coming from Ojota inward Ikorodu, before you get to Owode, Oniri, there used to be this controversial area there. So when complaints were coming too much, I met with the Lamata management and I told them that we are getting a lot of complaints here. And that point is not as if it's not marked as corridor. It is marked. But our people are not always patient. And most of our people also, they are not attentive. Either they are making calls, and it's not a concrete corridor like that. It's this line on the floor. So if you are not careful enough, of course, the signs, the road signs are all there, but how many people look out for road signs in this Lagos state while driving? How many people look out for road signs? So what I advise then is that we should add to the road signs. We started from distance away from where the corridor, we added. It's not as if there were no road signs, but we still added to it so that at least if you were not attentive or being, paying attention to the road signs at a point, at least between so point and so point, you will have seen any reason to say, okay, let me just watch and see what is happening on the road. Even when you are pressing phone, you cannot continue to press your phone for minutes. So what we did is that we added to the road sign, because we cannot say because people don't pay attention and we will now say, okay, well, a place that have been marked as corridor, that people should not use the place, and we'll now say, okay, continue to use it. I don't want to believe that a place that is not marked as corridor, enforcers will go there and start enforcing. And if there is anything like that, please, you can do us a favor by meeting the commander. I'm sure he will work with you to that point and you go and see the place himself.
All right, thank you, sir, for that hint. I think it's very clear. Builder Kazim, try and see the commander on that area for more clarification. Mr. Father Hero, please, quick one. We have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, sir.
Good evening,
My
sir.
name is Rotimi Father. Good evening, sir. I appreciate sir. My complaint is also in line with what Brother Kazim said. I experienced it myself. I know if you notice, I've been raising my hand up and down, but I had to raise it again because maybe it didn't table it well. By the time I was coming from the Mocha, I got to that particular spot almost time that then there was a little breakdown on there was a little breakdown. So we parked. Then the policeman, the task force people came and said we should pass here. I remained. I still maintain my ground. But there was a car in my front, about 2 cars. I told them to go. So one other car wanted to move too. I needed to move for him to go. The car was behind me. I needed to move closer to so that the car behind me could go. So and I joined them. So they allowed those ones to go. They not stop in front. And I said, "Why?" I told them why. They are policemen. That's what they told, that they are policemen. So what do you mean they are policemen? Are they not also respecters of law? I was on the queue because I was a little breakdown. He said we should move out. He said he was trying to free those vehicles. So now, before I knew, he said my son was beside me. He said my son should come down. Well, he said I should bring the key. I said, why should I bring the key? I gave him the key. You now brought somebody. They're not your men. Said they should begin to lose my plate. I gave them. So one of them drove my car. I now made a phone call. Snap, what happened? I now saying to a CP, one of the CP in Lagos. The man now said, I said, okay, about me, about people in sorrow, about me, only gave me bell. I mean the bell. I didn't buy one sorrow. So I now gave them. They were tossing me around. They were driving my car away. The man now said, if you take that car, you beg, but I won't listen to your beg. The man has showed me. So, sorry, sir. You don't do sorry, sir. But to me, well, at the policemen, many other cars also followed. When they stopped me, someone went behind me and they also moved. Are they above the law? That's my question, sir. Are they above the law?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Father Hero. I think we have chairman have attended to those questions. They are above the law and the BRT corridor. So thank you for your input also, sir. So on this note, let me quickly run through the chat box. I'm seeing here Motunrayo Miriam Williams Johnson from Ayobo Ipaja SCDA. Kudos to you for a well-delivered, sir. There is a need to complement their efforts. They cannot do everything. God bless you, sir. Olufunmilayo Ayodele, my suggestion, since the task force cover the state, they should let the public know that it's their responsibility to keep their environment clean and dump refuse indiscriminately through jingles, newsletter, and social media. Okay, thank you. Anytime and okay. All right. So someone has sent the task force hotline information to the chat box. Please, I want you to copy it immediately. The task force information hotline is 091 37 555 111. Once again, 091 37 555 111. Please copy that. Chairman have said it times to that number, and I expect us to ask the number, but nobody asked for the number. But someone have done us favor, have sent the number here. Copy the number, send the chairman message. Please don't send false message. Don't send annoyance message. Please be mindful of your message, please. Thank you. We can attend it to long question. Okay, thank you so much, sir, Mr. Chairman, sir, for your time. In fact, as I seated, I'm praying that governor should not call you for any impromptu for today. But thank you. God answer our prayer. On this note, Builder Kazim. Please unmute yourself once again. Builder Kazim.
Yes, I've done that, sir.
Okay, right. Unmuting yourself is that it's our tradition here. We call on one of our participants, our audience, to appreciate our guests. So, Builder Kazim, please, I want you to appreciate our chairman, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. On behalf of public servant hub and the organizer of this program, we are appreciating our chairman task force for his time and knowledge he has shared and information that is germane to everybody that listened and that was attentive to it. So we are using this medium to also say, may the Lord increase you more in strength and more knowledge and more position in life. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let me see your emojis to appreciate chairman, please.
Sorry, I also want to add this number. In addition to the, to 09137 555 111. I also want to add this one, 091 38 555 111.
Again, sir.
091 38 555 111. Yeah. So the first one is 091 37 555 111. Any of those lines, at any time you call the line, any of the lines, you have us.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity, sir. Please, if you see something, say something.
Say something.
And then, please, like I said, don't give false information. Let me see your emojis. Let your emojis keep on coming to appreciate chairman. It's not easy to track chairman down. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for honoring our call, sir.
My brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Yes, sir.